The tribe that sharpens you or the crowd that softens you. His wife called me at 2 a.m. He's in the garage, won't come out, won't talk to me. I found divorce papers in his briefcase, ones he printed, not me. I don't know what to do. I drove over, found him sitting in the dark, engine cold, staring at nothing. Successful guy, 6 figures, nice house, 2 kids. From the outside, he had everything. But when I asked him who he'd talked to about what he was going through, his answer gutted me. No one. I don't have anyone to talk to. This man had colleagues, neighbors, a fantasy football league, 300 Facebook friends, guys he'd grab beers with occasionally. But not one man on the planet he could call at 2 a.m. when his life was falling apart. Not one. This isn't his failure. This is an epidemic, and you're probably drowning in it too. Here's a stat that should terrify you. The average American man has fewer close friends today than at any point in recorded history. 1 in 5 men reports having no close friends at all. Not acquaintances, not work buddies, not drinking partners. 0 people they could call in a crisis. And you? When was the last time you had a real conversation with another man? Not about sports, not about work, not surface-level bullshit over beer. When did you last tell another man you were struggling, that you felt lost, that your relationship was dying, that you didn't know who you were anymore? I already know the answer. You haven't. Because men don't do that. And that's exactly the problem. The 4 types of male friends who are killing you. The drinking buddies. You meet at bars. You talk about nothing. You complain together. You enable each other's bad habits. You've never had a sober, honest conversation in 10 years of knowing each other. When you leave, nothing has changed. You're just more numb. The activity partners, golf guys, fantasy league, gaming squad. You have a shared hobby, not a shared life. The moment the activity ends, so does the connection. You know their handicap, but not their fears. Their K/D ratio, but not their dreams. The work colleagues. You spend 40 hours a week together, but you're not actually close. The friendship is circumstantial, not chosen. The moment one of you changes jobs, the relationship evaporates like it never existed. The old friends. Guys from high school or college you see twice a year. You reminisce about the past because you have nothing in the present. The friendship lives on nostalgia, not growth. You're not who you were 20 years ago, and neither are they. None of these are real brotherhood. None of them sharpen you. None of them call you out. None of them would drive across town at 2 a.m. You're surrounded by men but completely alone. She watches you, not consciously, but constantly. She sees that you have no tribe, no men who hold you accountable, no one who challenges your weakness, no one who demands you grow. And her biology registers, this man has no support structure, no backup, no sharpening. For 200,000 years, a man's tribe determined his survival. A man with strong alliances could hunt, defend, and build. A man alone was prey. Her nervous system still scans for this. And when she sees you friendless, isolated, without a single man who would go to war beside you, something in her protective instinct flags you as weak. Not because she's cruel, because isolation signals danger. A man with no brothers is a man with no one holding him to his word, no one calling out his bullshit, no one forcing growth. He can slip, slide, and decay. And who would notice? Who would care enough to say something? She becomes your only witness, your only accountability, your only emotional outlet. And that weight crushes her. You dump everything on her, your fears, your frustrations, your failures, because you have nowhere else to put it. She becomes your therapist, your mother, your confessor. And the more she carries your emotional weight, the less she can see you as a man she desires. Your isolation is making her your emotional caretaker. And no woman wants to fuck her patient. Here's what no one tells you about brotherhood and attraction. Women are more attracted to men who have strong male friendships. Not because it's a status symbol, because it signals something deeper. A man with brothers is a man who's been tested, challenged, held accountable. His rough edges have been filed by other men. His bullshit has been called out. His weakness has been confronted. He's been forged, not just born. When you have real male friendships, you don't need her to complete you. You don't pour all your emotional energy into one vessel. You have multiple sources of strength, support, and challenge. This creates space in the relationship. Space for her to be feminine. Space for polarity. Space for mystery. Space for desire. When you're emotionally fused to her, when she's your only connection, polarity dies. You become enmeshed, codependent. Two people sharing one emotional life. She can't miss what never leaves. She can't desire what has no independence. She can't surrender to a man who has already surrendered everything to her. Brotherhood gives you a life she can orbit around. Without it, you orbit around her. And that orbit kills attraction faster than anything. This week, before you bring any frustration, fear, or struggle to her, bring it to a male friend first. Process it with a brother before you process it with her. Watch how different the energy is when you come home. You're not dumping, you're sharing. That distinction is everything. Your ability to form male friendships was shaped by your father. If he had no close male friends, you never saw brotherhood modeled. You learned that men exist alone. That isolation is normal, that needing other men is weakness. If he had surface-level buddies, drinking partners, work colleagues, you learned that male friendship is shallow, activity-based, never vulnerable, never real. If he was abandoned by friends, betrayed by business partners, let down by men he trusted, you learned that other men can't be counted on. That closeness leads to pain, that it's safer to stay guarded. Either way, you inherited a broken template. You didn't learn that iron sharpens iron. You learned that men compete, drink, or disappear. You didn't learn that vulnerability between men builds trust. You learned that showing weakness invites attack. You didn't learn that real men need each other. You learned that needing anyone is failure. Your father wounded your capacity for brotherhood before you even knew what brotherhood was. But here's the truth he never told you. The strongest men in history were never alone. Warriors had their brothers. Kings had their councils. Every great man was surrounded by other great men. The lone wolf is not a symbol of strength. It's a death sentence. In the wild, lone wolves don't survive. They're the ones who got expelled from the pack. Too weak, too sick, or too disruptive to belong. You've romanticized isolation because it's familiar. Because your father lived it. Because vulnerability terrifies you. But familiar isn't healthy. And your father's loneliness doesn't have to be your inheritance. Building real brotherhood isn't about finding more friends. It's about finding the right men and going deep. Here's how. The 3-man minimum. You need 3 men in your life who meet these criteria. You could call them at 2 a.m. and they would answer. They would tell you hard truths, even if it damaged the friendship. They're building something. Not coasting, not complaining, growing. They hold you accountable to the man you said you wanted to become. If you don't have 3 men who meet these criteria, you don't have brotherhood. You have acquaintances. The initiation conversation. Real brotherhood starts with vulnerability, and vulnerability must be initiated. Pick one man you respect, a guy you think could become a real friend, and have this conversation. I realized I don't have any close male friends, not guys I can really talk to. I want to change that. Would you be open to meeting regularly? Not just to hang out, but to actually check in on each other's lives, goals, struggles? This will feel awkward. Do it anyway. Most men are starving for this invitation. They're just too afraid to extend it. The weekly war council, Brotherhood requires rhythm, not sporadic texts, not occasional beers. Scheduled, protected time. Meet weekly, even for 30 minutes. Coffee. Walk. Phone call. Format doesn't matter. Consistency does. The agenda is simple. What wins did you have this week? What are you struggling with? What's one thing you're committing to? How can I support you? No sports talk. No surface bullshit. Real conversation about real life. The hard truth pact. Make an explicit agreement. We tell each other the truth, even when it hurts. If your brother is getting soft, you say it. If he's making excuses, you call it. If he's fucking up his marriage, you don't stay silent to keep the peace. Most male friendships die from excessive politeness. Everyone's nice. No one's honest. Everyone stays comfortable. No one grows. Iron sharpens iron. But iron that never touches stays dull. Give permission for friction. That's where the sharpening happens. The shared mission. The strongest brotherhoods are forged in shared struggle. Find something to build together. Something that demands your best. Train together. Start something together. Challenge each other to a shared goal. 30 days of discipline, a physical challenge, a project. Men bond through mission, not just conversation. Words deepen friendships. Shared struggle forges them. You weren't meant to do this alone. Not your marriage, not your mission, not your growth, not your battles. Every man who ever built anything lasting had brothers beside him. Men who fought with him, bled with him, told him the truth when he needed to hear it. The lone wolf myth is killing you. Isolation isn't independence, it's decay. It's entropy. It's the slow death of everything masculine in you. She can see it, even if she doesn't say it. She sees a man with no tribe, no backup, no sharpening. And something in her knows, this man is alone, which means I'm alone with him. That's not a foundation for desire. That's not the structure she can surrender into. That's not the man who inspires her deepest respect. You need brothers, not drinking buddies, not activity partners, not colleagues. Men who will tell you the truth. Men who will fight beside you. Men who will hold you to your word when everything in you wants to quit. Find them. Build with them. Let them sharpen you. Because the man who stands alone falls alone. And the man who builds brotherhood, he becomes unshakable. Next episode, Living with Purpose. Why a man without direction repels, and how purpose becomes the gravitational force that draws everything, including her, into your orbit.